Unless you have been living under a rock or your planet doesn't have the best Wi-Fi, then you know that the trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, the long-awaited third and final installment of the epic Star Wars sequel trilogy, has dropped. Though the trailer gave fans a lot of amazing new moments to ponder, it barely even scratched the surface of what may or may not be coming in this installment. We traveled all over the galaxy, or okay, more like all over the internet, to get a consensus on answers to some of the biggest questions that have risen from the trailer, much like the title, am I right? So buckle up and prepare to jump to light speed as we deep dive into fan verdicts, the Rise of Skywalker trailer. Number 1. Will Rey be trained by multiple Force ghosts? The trailer opens with Rey on a desert planet paired with the voice of the late Luke Skywalker saying, "We've passed on all we know," which has fans speculating, who is we? Since technically we only hear Luke, he could be referring to himself, Yoda, and those really large Jedi textbooks Rey saved from the tree library in The Last Jedi. But that wouldn't be as much fun as some other theories, like Nerdist.com writer Eric Diaz, who thinks fans could be seeing a larger Force Ghost powwow cheering Rey on. He explains that J.J. Abrams did in fact use Ewan McGregor and Frank Oz's voices in Rey's Forceback in The Force Awakens, which could be a hint that we may be seeing more of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and quite possibly Anakin Darth Vader himself. JJ has gone on the record countless times that The Rise of Skywalker is to be the climax of the 9-part saga we have all come to know and love. So more characters returning from the past kind of only makes sense. Both options could very well happen, but the World Wide Web is leaning toward one more than the other. The verdict? Rey will probably be getting a lot of pep talk from some past fan-favorite Force ghosts. Number 2, will Kylo Ren turn to the light side? We don't really see a lot of Kylo in this trailer, but from the scenes we did get, it allowed for a whole lot of speculation. For fans who like a bad boy, many believe that his continuous black attire can only mean he is sticking with the dark side. According to Screen Crush, his scarred face from a recent production photo could be the effects of the darkness taking hold of him, much like its effect on Emperor Palpatine.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
We also see mysterious hands rebuilding Kylo's helmet that he ultimately destroyed in The Last Jedi. Could this mean he isn't ready to give up his dark streak just yet? Possibly. Plus, some commenters have pointed out how similar his look is to Anakin in the prequels. And what about this opening scene where it's implied Kylo is fighting Rey in the desert? Well, is he? We never actually see who is flying the ship, and some fans, including IGN, have been quick to call out that the ship's design is different from Kylo's TIE silencer seen in the past films, so it may not even be Kylo at all. However, Jessica Chobot of Nerdist weighed in on the opening trailer scene, questioning if this could be Kylo actually training Rey.
Join me.
Could we possibly see the two team up to take down Palpatine? If we jump forward in the trailer, we do see a short, albeit epic battle scene of Kylo body slamming an enemy in a fiery forest. Some fans say the opposing side's helmet looks very similar to the Knights of Ren, one of J.J. Abrams' concepts, but Eric Voss of New Rockstars thinks that would be too big of a reveal too soon. Rosie Knight of Nerdist thinks that the purple hue of the upcoming title may hint at Kylo's return to the light side. Throughout Star Wars history, a red lightsaber equals the dark side, while a blue lightsaber equals the light. So by putting together Rey's blue saber and Kylo's red, you would in fact get the color purple. It is only a theory, but it seems a bit stronger when you take a look back at the past two films' title colors. The verdict? A Kylo Ren redemption arc, or should I say #Bendemption, is very likely, but will he go full-on light side is still debatable. Number 3, how did Emperor Palpatine survive? One of the biggest shockers in the trailer drop was hearing the infamous cackle of Emperor Palpatine. Which leads to one of the most important questions of all. How the heck did Emperor Palpatine survive? We all clearly saw him fall to his death in Return of the Jedi. We do know that Siths cannot return as Force ghosts, as one would have to fully reject the dark side, but they have been known to come back as spirits. According to Nerdist, we do get a glimpse of the Sith afterlife in the season finale of the Clone Wars cartoon series, when Yoda confronts the spirit of Darth Bane. According to New Rockstars, the sudden death of Snoke in The Last Jedi could signal that Palpatine is pulling the spirit card. So maybe, just just maybe Snoke was actually being controlled by the spirit of Palpatine all along. Ooh, that's a good one. Another theory that has been circulating on the internet is the possibility of a Palpatine clone. J.K. Schmidt of comicbook.com stated that Palpatine did in fact clone himself in the expanded universe comic book Shattered Empire. Will this comic book storyline meld into the Rise of Skywalker film though? Only time will tell. Some of the more wild theories we've come across include Reddit user Emperor Death Bunnies that Kylo Ren is actually Darth Plagueis. Okay, alright, let me explain. This theory suggests that Darth Plagueis can transfer his essence at the time of death from body to body.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Long story short, he never went away. He has just been jumping from the bodies of Palpatine to Snoke and eventually ending up in Kylo Ren. Crazy theory, we know, but definitely worth a read.
It's not a story the Jedi would tell you.
There's even a theory that was created years before the trailer dropped and the return of Palpatine was still unknown. Back in 2017, the Huffington Post argued that Rey is actually a descendant of Palpatine, citing that her fighting style, her name, her theme song, and so much more are reason enough. And hey, it does fit the typical Star Wars tropes. The verdict? There is no doubt about it that Palpatine is back. In what capacity is debatable, but the Spirit Puppet Master concept is winning over many fans. Number 4, what is the meaning behind the Rise of Skywalker? Lastly, and one of the most exciting reveals, was the new title of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. This title blew fan speculations of how this trilogy will end out of the water, especially since this film is supposed to wrap up the Skywalker saga. Screen Crush had a few theories on the title. It could refer to the redemption arc we mentioned earlier, with Kylo Ren denouncing the dark side and embracing his Skywalker bloodline, or it could be that Rey's origin of coming from nowhere in The Last Jedi is retconned, and she actually turns out to be Ben's sister, or Luke's daughter, thus making her a Skywalker. Both of those sound a little too convenient though. Other theorists, like Eric Voss of New Rockstars, think it could actually be referring to the rise of Luke and Leia Skywalker to a higher plane of existence. This argument is strong, as this final installment was supposed to be focused on Leia's support as the past two were on Han and Luke. However, with the passing of the late Carrie Fisher, many are still trying to theorize how Abrams will do this. A theory that has been insanely popular since the drop of the trailer is that Skywalker isn't referring to a person's surname, sorry Luke, but to a new group of Force users called Skywalkers. If we take a look at the titles from each of the final films in the 3 trilogies, we can see there is a pattern in the wording. Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi both contain specific categories of Force users, so it's definitely a strong argument that The Rise of Skywalker falls into this pattern, leading fans to believe a new group will rise with Rey in the forefront, a group that will once and for all truly bring balance to the Force, similar to the Grey Jedi in the expanded universe. The verdict? We are going to have to go with the prominently discussed theory that the Rise of Skywalker is referring to a new group of Force-sensitive people. Where can I sign up? While these are some of our top questions, there are so many more we need to know the answers to. No, seriously, like so many. What is this new planet they're on? Why is there Death Star wreckage? How did Rey fix Luke's lightsaber? How much time has passed between films? Where can I get a DO? Let us know in the comments below some of your questions and theories to the latest Star Wars trailer drop. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest Star Wars news. Until next time, may the Force be with you.
So be it, Jedi.